Oh man, Ed, I love it. Dominating victory, crushing the football team, division rival.
Hold on, wait. This just in. Dallas just scored again. Welcome back.
Let's go! Ah! Hey, welcome back everybody to another Ed and Eddie Silver and Blue. Talk Cowboys all day, every day.
And we're not going to have a whole good, bad, ugly on this Washington game. It was all good.
It's one of those victories like if you're playing Madden on easy mode and everything just goes your way, you know, block punts, interceptions by your playmaker, sacks, forced fumbles.
Offense, defense, and special teams were all outstanding.
And you know what? I love it because this is the type of victory that, you know, not only we needed to get the monkey off our back of, oh, they're not winning pretty, but Dak, that's such a big confidence boost for him too. Literally, he's had the best game he's played in a month in one half alone.
I talked about exactly what the problem was and what was going to happen. After 3 straight road weeks, they're at home. They got more practice time. They got all their guys back. Their horses are healthy. Look for Dak to have a breakout game this week.
Yeah, and hey, this guy called it right. And, you know, funny enough, it seems like teams tend to do better when they're at home. Yeah,
interesting.
Pretty interesting, yeah.
So, I mean, it was all good, but just a few of the highlights. Michael only had 1 sack, but again, he was everywhere. He was everywhere with a huge impact.
One of my favorite things, I like seeing his pass breakups. You know, flying out to the screen, batting it down.
Oh, did you see that? They had that screen set up perfectly. Heineke turned. He saw Micah going out there. He was like, oh, fuck, bye.
And smart play by Heineke. But the fact that Micah is so aware with his like pass coverage and he's been getting better every week, like, I love that. And, you know, here's something else, too. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, well, it was a great dominant victory, but it's just the football team. Dude, they're the same football team that beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They're the same ones that beat the Las Vegas Raiders. So, again...
And nobody cried about the Cowboys when we had COVID issues. Nobody. So the heck with that.
And the bigger thing too, man, is in the NFL, any team could beat any team, really.
That's
like
fact.
It wasn't a few weeks ago that the Giants ended up beating the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's
Saints have beat the Bucks twice.
Yeah, literally anything can happen. I think probably one of the more satisfying things is just another stud player in the NFC East, Terry McLaurin. You could just see the frustration on him. He's just like, God, I hate this.
How about Washington's game plan to go at Trayvon Diggs with a bomb on their first pass play?
Yeah,
what in the world was that?
What did you think would just happen? You know, it's just...
Not that, I guess.
Apparently not.
You know who also had a bounce-back game was Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I thought the play calling was noticeably better. Who knows? Maybe it all looks better when it works. So maybe that's just a big part of it. But it certainly looked a little more creative, a little more dynamic.
Well, and here's a part of the strategy not a lot of people were talking about was we went hurry-up offense against a short-rested, depleted team that was already gassed due to starters coming back from COVID or just practice squad guys that haven't had a lot of conditioning. And so, don't let them rotate. Let the same guys on the field. Keep them gassed. Keep them tired.
Yeah. Speaking of rotate, man, our defensive line is just a whole bunch of studs, and they rotate them. You know what it's reminiscent of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jimmy Jones, Maryland, Tolbert. I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, our defensive line is really deep. We have the usual studs, D-Law and Gregory, but we're now having a lot of great young rotational guys, you know. Golston, Odie, Armstrong, Gallamore's come back in a big way.
Yes.
Even Hill's starting to come around, but, you know, when you got studs surrounding you, I think you look good either way. But, I'm loving our D-line, too.
Absolutely. All in all, just an incredible performance, offense, defense, special teams. That's what I like to see.
You know what? Great victory against the football team, but we're not done yet. We might have wrapped up the division, but we're still fighting for seeding here. And we got a good test this week. Arizona Cardinals at Dallas.
Absolutely. This is a big game. I think Green Bay could lose to Minnesota. You know, it's a division rival and all that. We'll see what happens. Dallas can't afford to lose. They want to keep the momentum up. Arizona is not the team that started the season. I think that's a pattern with them. They've shown that to be the case, and they're very beatable.
Yeah, I think they're beatable, and the only thing that worries me is just the recency curse of Arizona. They're another weird team we talked about earlier in the preseason prediction, is that whenever we play them, it's never a clean game. Kind of similar to Denver, where it usually always just something odd goes on.
It is, and I understand there's no connection. I get that. It's not a supernatural thing I'm pointing out, but it's also not inaccurate to point out that weird stuff happens when we play Arizona. For whatever reason. Broken fingers, block punts, whatever. I was thinking about that, and I don't think that's going to be the case this week at all. I really think that Dallas has kind of turned the corner on that.
Yeah, I kind of see it like that too. Like this week, I actually do, think we're going to do quite well because a few things to factor in. One, we've won 4 straight. We have momentum. We're in that kind of playoff victory mode now. Yep. Whereas the Cardinals, they've lost 3 straight. And I know they backed into a playoff spot, but I think they're kind of reeling. The other thing, we're playing at home.
Yeah.
It's the cat's out of the bag now that we are a dominant team at home. And
red zone efficiency, scoring. Dallas Cowboys playing at home for years. It never was much of a home field advantage, but this year it is.
Us being at home, a healthier team than them. We have right now across the board, for the most part, better playmakers too.
Tons.
Yeah.
So, the Cardinals can still be dangerous. The main threat, like we talked about, is Kyler Murray. What do you do to combat that?
You put Mike on him as a spy.
Hey.
I mean, and I should hope it goes as simple as that. But, we have the studs on the D-line. We don't need to have Micah rush the passer as a defensive end. Matter of fact, I think that would hurt our defense slightly, only because we'd be taking out a guy like Gregory, D-Law, Armstrong. But, have our fastest, rangiest, most athletic linebacker shadow him.
Yeah.
Make it to the point where he should not beat us with his legs.
And I know it's fun to rush the passer and get the sacks like they are, but maybe the strategy is better to just corral him and make sure the ends don't give up that edge, and just kind of keep the edge and push him up into the middle with all the waiting guys, including Micah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, so when Dallas has the ball, I hope Kellen keeps up the same creative play calling that he kind of, got back into the saddle with last week. What do we got to worry about Cardinals on D?
I mean, if there's any guy on their defense, it's Chandler Jones, man. Guy is a legit stud, and I think he's kind of one of those guys that you got to just chip, They have a bunch of solid pieces around the defensive line. I think Watt being injured is a big part. I know their secondary is also very thin with guys in and out with COVID and injuries. So I think if we stick to that kind of 3 wide receiver set, I think that could really hurt them big
When you
time.
said Chandler Jones, I had a quick flashback. Chris Jones.
Not the same guy, thank God. But yeah, Chandler Jones is a stud, but I think if you chip him and, game plan around him, I think we'll be just fine.
Awesome.
Their offense is very solid, mind you, when it's healthy. Missing DeAndre Hopkins, their line has kind of been shuffling back and forth, and Kyler Murray hasn't looked as great either this
How did
past
Dallas
week.
look when they were missing their number 1 wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, It happens to everybody, but it just shows. Something else about Arizona that plays a bit into our favor is they're very reliant on Kyler Murray having to carry the team.
Oh, yeah.
When he's out of sync, their team just does not do well. Whereas us, I feel we're a much more complementary football team.
That's true.
We have playmakers on defense to kind of help carry the burden. We have multiple players on offense that can hit them,
Big time.
But, I'm feeling really good about this week.
Oh, me too. Well, looks like Tyron Smith is going to be back. The offense, they snapped out of their funk. They're 100% again. Even when they weren't clicking, they were still winning.
Yeah.
So to your point about we don't need to, pile everything on Dak to win, but Dak seems to be back. And man, if he is, this is going to be huge going into the playoffs.
And if anything, we just needed that kind of warm-up game against the football team. But Ed, how you feeling this week? What's your prediction?
So I'm going 34-21 Cowboys.
Very nice. I think it'll be a little bit closer because every team always plays us well, and I think it's almost a playoff atmosphere for them, but I'm calling it 31-24 Dallas. Just with all the momentum going our way, we're the healthier team, we're at home, we're on a roll. Just, I don't see us losing here.
Amen to that.
Hey, and everybody, before we end this video, we just want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing. Ed Sr. and I, we made this our passion project before the season, and we just hit 200 subscribers.
Hey.
So we thank you guys so much for being a part of this. We hope you love the content.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, because every time you hit that like button, an Eagles fan cries.
All right, everybody. See you Sunday.